Heyo. Alright, so this is the Arcus Shadow list. I was just going to go in a deck breakdown of it, nothing too crazy. Start off, we have 3 goblins just for aggro, as well as the Mysterious Spirit, I think it's called. Mischievous Spirit? Yeah, Mischievous Spirit. Both of those just 1-drops. I usually don't play Mischievous Spirit on turn 1. I use it for the ghost effect later. Otherwise, I combo it with Grimoire or Fairy or Gilnelis late game to do a lot of burst damage after I've got Arcus effect. So Grimoire is 3 of, half to 3 of her. She evos everything else that's out on the field, as well as letting it draw a card if an evo creature is out at the end of turn. Lyria, she's also a 3 of. She searches Gilnelis. I only run 2 Gilnelis, just because Lyria is also a good creature on curve. Lady Grey, 3 of. She's got Drain, she reanimates. Big butt. Fairy, 3 of, which I could see her going to 2, but she's good on turn 2 if I see her early, and then if not, then I generally keep her for turn 10 combo, because this deck can burst like 18, 24 damage, anything like that really on turns 9 and 10. It's pretty absurd, as long as I don't put wards in your way. Nicola, he's a new creature that I recently put in after the rotation. He's amazing with Arcus. He puts in a burn spell into your hand essentially after you've popped him a couple times, and he comes back to your hand. I never play him on curve if I see their Havencraft or Portalcraft, just because he can get banished, and that's a really big loss for me. So if I'm going versus Portal or Haven specifically, because they do have banishing stuff, then I will wait and not play him until after Arcus is out. Manifest Malice is a 3 of, just a good way it gets through a Poseidon token if they try to put with that. Otherwise it lets you trade a bit easier. I mean, 2 damage is just good. Fran, also 3 of. She's got probably the best removal on turn 3 for you to play, because it gives you 2 shadows, as well as taking out one of their creatures. A lot of times I'll go Fran's Attendant, though, if I'm trying to board spam. I'm trying out Chris Pumpkinhead. He's alright, nothing crazy. I'd probably replace him for like Osiris or Zebit if I get more of him. But he's another good, like, decent 3-drop follower. Orthus, I dropped her to 2. She's good. Really good at trading. If they evo, then you can play her, take out the evo thing without having to spend one of your tokens, which is why I like her so much. But I don't know, nothing other than that. I really don't deal with other followers too much. I only have 1 Osiris, so I'm only running 1 of him. Otherwise, however many of them I have, I'd run. He's really good for draw power. The attacking doesn't really come up, but his last words when you evo him are quite nice. Zebit is also really good. Don't know if I'd ever run more than 2 of her, but I really like her, at least as a singleton, sort of holding down the 4-point play point slot. Cerberus, you almost want a mull for her, like, she's that good. Playing her on turn 5 is amazing. It's so good. She's good without an evo token, but so much better with an evo token. Gilnelis, she's busted. She's what you're going to search with Lyria every time. It's one of the enablers of most of the endgame combos with this deck. And Arcus, who I only run 2 of him, but you don't really have a problem seeing him. It's not every game that I feel like I need to Arcus anyway. If I get him early, I definitely keep an evo token for him, just because it's much better on tempo if I don't just spend 7 play points playing a 6/6 that does nothing in a turn. So I'll go show you a replay next. There you go. It'll be just 1 second. If I bothered editing this, I'd probably edit this out, but it's fine. So, this is the Shadowcraft vs. Forestcraft game I was planning to show you. Just shows mostly how you'd want to play the matchup. Forestcraft doesn't really have any win con right now. unless they've already got Korwa out. Otherwise, they're just a really fair deck, so if you just constantly trade into their board and clear their stuff, seeing as how my deck is inherently unfair, I'm going to get it eventually. So Forestcraft, I'm not honestly sure most of the time if it's aggro or if it's mid-range, so I just kept this because it lets me curve pretty well. Good followers, and it has Kerberos in it. I got Lady Grey, who's amazing on turn 2, but much better later whenever I can Evo, so I just play Fairy as a threat. I'm not going to keep her till turn 10, and before then she's just a 2-2, so they blade it, which is great. And to blade on a weenie creature, I'm like, perfect. I mean, something else later is a big problem. I'm just board spamming, trying to make him use removal or use creatures. Was not expecting Insane Dark Elf. I don't think I've ever seen that card played against me before. So it took out my Lady Grey, which usually she lasts more than that. Here I go Fran. I go for the Monster Attendant, just again so I can board spam. I have Kerberos next turn, so at the very least I put out 3 bodies. Kerberos if I Evo her. So he spends another Seraphic Blade on a 0 drop, which is fine. But then he also has a Mark of the Unkilling to kill that, and I was not expecting that much to die. And then he Servants, and I thought he would Evo here and use it for free trade. However, he doesn't, which I kind of disagree with. He knows that I can Cerberus on 5, and that just makes Goblin an even better creature once I've already Cerberus. So, not like a horrible play, but I do think it was a misplay. I just swing with Goblin there. Better habit to do something than not to do something. So he Servants again, and he takes out that again, and I'm like, not too sure about it. He could have gone for Kerberos, nerfed her, then evoed his 2 into a 4/4 so that it trades favor die to a pain. Let's see, he plays Michelle. She's a really good creature when she's attacking. However, she's not a good creature otherwise. I take care of it because I don't want it to hurt me later though. And then I swing face because again, he's forced, so he's never expressing any pressure to me. And I don't care about taking 2. He plays Michelle again, but I still have Arcus with an Evo, so I take that out so that he doesn't swing into it and start doing gross shenanigans. Michelle is a really big enabler in Forest right now. If they're running the Unkilling package, so I just use that to take him out. Arcus is still big butt. He actually has a card that's a really good answer to it that I've never seen run against me again. He's running a kind of weird, very Unkilling-centric Forestcraft list, which I don't think that's how it wants to be built. But he's at 12, and I have 2 Lyrias. I'm at 8 now, so I'm just going to go Lyria Gil. Arcus already procced, so that's going to be 6 damage a turn, even if he does something to my Gil, which in Forestcraft is very likely that they actually can deal with your Gilnelis, even though it has Ambush, because Predatory Might deals 5 to the weakest enemy follower. There's a chance he searched it out with Apostle, but he does not. He heals, which isn't enough to get him out of lethal. So I just go Lyria and Gilnelis again. Nothing too fancy. But I had Gremory in my hand that I could have played as well twice. I had Manifest Malice. So again, there was no real threat coming from his deck. But that's pretty much what you want to do, is you just want to trade in, reduce all the damage. I only took damage from him once, maybe twice that game, just because I'm trading board instead and making him trade board. I'm going to win if it goes to endgame. But that's pretty much what happens. This other Forestcraft game right here, it's 4th from the top there, I lost mostly because of a lot of misplays, and then on top of that, I tried to do weird shenanigans to board clear and ended up running out of time, which gave him the game. So that would be an atypical Forest match, but just wanted to show you what it normally looks like when you play versus Forest. So, yeah, have fun.